All right, I'm going to give you a little bit of help on how to do some of these without a calculator. We'll start with the basic ones. This is the best technique I can think of. Log base 5 of 125. What I like to do is put your finger on the 5 and put your finger on the 125, and the exponent is your answer. So if I go to my paper here, put your finger on the 5 and put your finger on the 125. Hit them both, your exponent, boom, power 3 is the answer. So you get a 3. This works great anytime you start with a small number and go to a big number. So if you have put your finger on the 2, put your finger on the 128, boom, exponent is a 7. Works pretty good. The ones that are a little bit trickier are like fractions. Well, as soon as you have a fraction, start to think, well, what type of an exponent creates a fraction? So I'll put my finger, let's just think about the two numbers, not the 1, but the numbers here. Put your finger on the 8 and put your finger on the 8. What exponent? Well, it's a 1, but then in order to flip it, you need a negative. Okay? How about to get a smaller number? Okay, well, it doesn't quite work to put your finger on the 9 and the 3, but anytime you're going to go from bigger to smaller, let's go up here, put your finger, so look at it and say, oh, 9 and a 3, well, it must be a 2, right? Well, close. In order to create a smaller number, we need to do a root, and a root is a fraction. So when you start to have fractions, that's where the negatives come in. And when you go from a bigger integer, whole number, to a smaller one, that's where the fractions come in. Okay, if you log the number 1, we should automatically go, boom, 0. Well, why is that so obvious? What I'm asking you is, how do I change a 14 into a 1 using exponents? Well, the exponent that changes everything to a 1 is going to be 0. Things like this seem super complicated, right? Oh, square roots, right? But if you rewrite it as log base 6 of 6, instead of a square root, let's call it 1/2. Well, I want us to be able to very quickly just go, boom, answer's 1/2. And you're like, well, how would I know that so quickly? Because remember what I'm asking you. I'm saying, all right, if I start with a 6 and it turns into 6 to 1/2, I want to know what exponent will change a 6 into a 6 power 1/2. Well, if the bases are the same, then the exponents have to be the same. Makes sense. All right, these are just tricky, but even this one, let's rain it down, and that's going to be log base 5. When you multiply them, it's 5 to the 6. Hopefully we can go, boom, answer 6, quick. Over here, put your finger on the 6, put your finger on the 36, finger on the 6, finger on the 36. Touch them, boom, power 2, and we have it. So hopefully that's a good help to get you to do trickier things, like number 11. What I want us to be able to do is see, oh, log base, boom, answer's 21. Just got it quick. Think, answer's 4/3. As soon as your bases are the same, they cancel right out. Same thing here. It might seem super tough, but we have log base 12 of 12. We have power 5 root 4. Remember, power 5 and root 4 can be written as a fraction, and you can just answer's 5/4. Down here, anytime you're stuck, put it in its other form. Because right here, you might not know exactly what to do, but remember what I'm asking you. I'm saying, how do I change a 4 into an A, start, and if this is my exponent? Well, 4 to the 7th, you can just use your power card. Same thing over here. You're like, all right, well, now this number's, how do I change a 6 into a B if I'm going to use a 3/5 power? Well, that's calculator work. You can do that. Same thing here. How do I change a 12 into a C if 0 is my exponent? Well, oh, that's 1. That's easy. Things like 22, we have to see, all right, the log of 28, the base is 5. Oh, if the number being logged is equal, then the base has to be equal as well. There's really no math there at all. How about number 23? What I'm saying is, how do I change an x into a 10 if my exponent is 1/3? Well, that doesn't solve the problem, but it does help you think about it differently. Because how do you get rid of a 1/3 power? Well, in previous chapters, we said that a reciprocal power will get rid of it, and 10 to the 3rd power is 1,000. So for all of these, anytime you're stuck, put it in the other form. Put it in exponential form. That'll help you out. Same thing down here. We're just flipping between the two. This down here, just so we're all clear, you do not have to do that. cross that out. Okay, I think these on the back are similar enough to ones on the front. If you have questions, let me know. But hopefully that helped you out a little bit.